guys? What's going on? It's been a while since I made a video, so I figured that I would, come out with something like this. Anyways, does anybody remember the last great sci-fi movie that nobody ever saw? Well, I believe Midnight Special is that next one.
What do you know about Alton Meyer?
I wouldn't know where to start. You would have fits.
So Midnight Special is directed by Jeff Nichols. He was the director of Mud and Take Shelter. Both of those movies I didn't see, but apparently are supposed to be pretty good. But, judging by, this latest one that he made, kind of feel obligated to watch those other ones. Because Midnight Special is awesome. So it was after Christmas. I had just, come back from, all the whole Christmassy thing and all the things that you do during Christmas. And I decided that I was going to go see, as many of the Oscar movies as I could, so I could, take a look at the competition and see, which one stands the highest, which one's the most, likely to... Anyways, that part's not important. It doesn't matter. But anyways, so one of those movies was The Danish Girl, so I decided to go see The Danish Girl because I remember watching the trailer and thinking, wow, that looks like a really good movie. At least I thought it did. Anyways, during the showtime of the film, they showed this trailer for this movie called Midnight Special. It was starring Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, and Kirsten Dunst. Now, that trailer was so good that even after that movie was over, I was thinking about Midnight Special. I was so entranced by what was this movie about? And the trailer is very, very cryptic. It's almost like the Star Wars trailers that came out for The Force Awakens. They're very cryptic. They don't give a lot away. But my God, was it interesting as crap. So I started to kind of follow the movie. I was starting to figure out, okay, so when's it coming out? Okay, it's coming out in March. Okay, definitely got to go see that movie. Once it actually was finally released, it was showing in one theater within driving distance from where I live. Now, I live in Vancouver, Washington, and the film was showing at the Cinema 21 in downtown Portland. That's Portland, Oregon, not Maine. I feel like a jackass for clarifying that. God, I'm such a dick. Cinema 21 is right in the middle of downtown Portland, and if any of you live in the greater Portland area, that means, Gresham, Portland, Sandy, Vancouver, even Salmon Creek, you know that driving in downtown Portland is probably the worst thing that you could possibly do. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll just let this movie get a little bit bigger, so, when it comes to a theater that's closer to me, I'll go see it. That didn't happen. So I waited for it to come out on Blu-ray, which, it took a while. And then I eventually kind of just forgot about the movie. I started to think, it's like, oh wow, maybe I'm probably never going to go see that movie. But, which was a mistake, because I should have made the sacrifice to drive down to downtown Portland to watch this movie. Now, if you live in downtown Portland and you just listen to my rant, sorry. I'm not saying sorry because I'm dissing the place in which you live. I'm saying sorry because you live there. And it's the worst place on the planet. I'm such a douchebag. Okay, so when I finally remembered that this movie actually existed, it was once it had just come out on Blu-ray. I had walked into a Best Buy and I just saw it sitting there and I remembered, oh my God, it's that movie! I have to get that movie! So I got it. I hadn't seen it. I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. I was just so interested in seeing it. I decided I would much rather buy it and figure out for myself than to not watch it at all. And that was one of the most rewarding movie experiences I've ever had. I sat down here on my bed, plugged my headphones into my TV, shut down all the lights. I watched it in the dark so I could see everything, so I didn't have even the tiniest little glare of light shining on my TV screen, so I could just sit there and watch this movie. And it was amazing! I have not seen a better movie this year than Midnight Special. 10 Cloverfield Lane comes pretty close, but after I watched Midnight Special, I couldn't think of anything that I could find wrong with it. Granted, that was about 3 or 4 months ago. That was right around when it first came out when I watched it. So I decided I would watch it again today, and I did, and it still is fucking awesome. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie because I want you guys to go in there yourself, because to be completely honest, not enough people are talking about this movie, and that is a serious problem. I honestly feel like if this movie was directed by like Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan or somebody that, you know, mainstream audiences go to regularly, and they made the same exact movie with, you know, no differences, it would have made a lot of money. In fact, if Christopher Nolan had directed this movie, it would have probably made $1 billion. Who knows? It could have. But considering that it was made by a guy named Jeff Nichols, who nobody really knows, you could walk down the street and just ask a normal person who Jeff Nichols is, and they'll probably just go back to you and be like, "What do you mean? My Uncle Jeff?" No, Jeff Nichols, a movie director. Who? Yeah, it's a fucking problem. So the movie starts out, and you can kind of start hearing, you know, the news broadcast of a child abduction. Now, I know what you're thinking. You know, it's like another cliche opening for a movie with, you know, the news and all that, but you only really hear it, and then you realize once, you know, you actually start getting visuals of the movie, it's these characters watching the news, and it's the actual, and it's the actual people that the news is talking about. It's talking about Michael Shannon, who abducted this kid, who turns out to be his son, and they have a thing going on, and yeah, I know that I probably just spoiled a little bit for you, but honestly, that's nothing compared to actually watching this movie. You get so much information in this movie, but everything is very, very cryptic. Everything doesn't quite start to stack up until probably the last act of the movie, when you start to realize that Alton Meyer, the kid who is abducted, has these, well, I mean, he's had special powers throughout the whole movie, but you don't start to actually figure out what they mean and what's going on with him and why they're happening to him until probably the last half of the movie. So every shot of this movie is very static. It's very set up on a tripod, and it doesn't really move, and you can really tell that the cinematographer worked really hard to be able to, you know, tell the story and convey the story just through the cinematography alone. If we only had the cinematography, we only had the visual and none of the audio, I feel like you could still actually get a lot of what's going on, because the camera doesn't cut away whenever any of the actors start to convey any type of emotion. It actually lingers on them, so you can really feel the emotion that they're feeling. Like, you could really feel the sadness or the anxiety or the fear from these characters while they're on the run from the government. God, oh man, it's really hard to explain this movie without completely giving it away. And I cannot give it away for you guys because it's so freaking good. And nobody has seen it. And that is a fucking crime. Oh my god, I want to talk about it so much more. There's so much more to talk about. I honestly feel like at some point I should just sit down, put the camera right in front of me, and just rant about this movie. Just go off. And like probably like with a person, so I have another person talking to me. But I want to talk about this movie so bad, but I can't because nobody has actually seen this movie. I just look on the IMDb page, and it was made for like $18 million and only made $3 million back. $3 million. Yeah, $3 million. Not a lot of people watched it, and honestly, I feel like more people need to watch it. So that's why I'm getting this video out to you guys, because Midnight Special is so far the best movie I've seen all year. I'm definitely going to try and see more movies. You know, I'm not saying it's the best of the movie yet, but so far, kind of is, because it's amazing and everybody should go see it. There's people down there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Well guys, if you want to watch more, click my channel right here, and if you want to subscribe, you can click here. You can also follow me on Facebook at pproductions1. And, well, that's it. See you guys later.